Well, there we have it. I've officially retired from my post at the hospital. My career as a radiographer has come to an end, and I'm happy, relieved, and relaxed about that. I'm just sitting in the car at the moment, just having left the hospital. Said goodbye to some really very nice people I've known for many years in some cases, and some people I've not known for that long, but who are just starting off in their careers, and it's been really great to get to know them, and a real privilege. There's been other sides to leaving today, which I'll talk a little bit more about on my way home, but I think are probably symptomatic of a lot of things. But for the moment, anyway, it's time to go home, and I don't see my retirement in any way at all as a finishing line. I see it very much as a starting line for a completely new and I hope exciting phase of my life. So I'm just driving away from the Wandsbek Hospital for the last time. You can probably see it out of the window on the right here, and it's a good feeling. I'm finally free, and from here on in my time is my own, and Lorena and I can do whatever we wish with the rest of our lives, and that is a really fantastic feeling. Yes, as I mentioned a few moments ago, been saying cheerio to some really excuse me, very nice people, but there's been another side to this morning. Really, it's interesting. I found that I did bump into my manager on the corridor, and the question that he asked me was when was I leaving. And at one time in the NHS, when someone had worked for 37 years in the service, 26 years with this employer, you would think that your manager would actually know exactly when you were leaving, and might even come and say cheerio, rather than rely on just a chance meeting in a corridor. I was just one of the managers, the consultant radiologists that I've worked with for a number of years now. None of them had made any sort of point of coming to say cheerio or to wish me all the best. The whole situation to me indicates or demonstrates that the service is very fragmented, and that it doesn't matter what is said on the glossy brochures, that people are rarely, certainly not people in my position, treated as individuals by the people managing the service. I can't say that that's a universal truth, but it's certainly been my experience when I've ended my NHS service. All that said, I don't feel, even having just this moment retired, I don't feel in the slightest bit bitter about any of that. It's just the way things have turned out for me. I consider it to have been a privilege to work with many of the staff that I've worked with in radiology, and I wouldn't have changed things, but certainly for me the time is right to leave, because I think, coming from the generation that I do, I come from a time that people did genuinely feel very much part of a team. There were obviously the downside of working in the health service, a lot of very difficult times, but if you're working as part of a team that looks after each other, and everyone feels that they're valued and of importance, no matter what their role is, then you can get through very, very difficult times. But I think, certainly from my experience, those days are now gone, and that team ethos simply doesn't exist. People are just working away in isolation, and that I think is why the situation that I've encountered happens in today's health service. Well, we're well on the way home now, past the little estuary near Amble, or between Amble and Warkworth. Just going past the Warkworth sign now. Still a miserable grey day, but at least the roads are dry and it's not too cold. But, it's a strange old feeling. We're just leaving Warkworth now, heading back over the bridge that I came over this morning, over the river Coquet. I was just thinking how nice it was of people like Julie Flynn to leave me a little gift, have that passed on to me today. She'd remembered that it was my last day, and of course Sarah coming in with her daughter Leah to say cheerio on a day that she wasn't working. And it's just little things like that do make all the difference, and those are the memories that I think people like me and others would want to take away from their working lives into retirement. There's certainly no point whatsoever in dwelling on the sort of negativity or bitterness that you could easily build up if you don't feel that you've been treated in some way properly as you interpret it or whatever. So I think it's far better just to leave behind all the negativity of one's working life, and I think some of that is absolutely inevitable. That just has to be left behind, and you take away the sort of dealings with people who were kind and thoughtful and treated you treated you in such a way that you actually felt valued and worthwhile. Those are certainly the memories that I'll take with me, and I very much appreciate the efforts that people made both this morning, and the people have given me little books of photographs and cards and all these things that have actually taken some time and effort to do, and they really can't be it's really difficult to say how much that sort of thing's valued, certainly by myself anyway. Certainly much more than something that's just been bought off off a shelf somewhere. Well, I've arrived back at the bridge at Lesbury, which you might remember from this morning's journey in. Unfortunately, I'm stuck behind a silver Suzuki Alto, which is travelling along at an absolute snail's pace, but at least it's given me time to just think about things and enjoy the journey, because after all now there is absolutely no rush. Yeah, we've just turned down back in Alnwick now, just turned past the War Memorial, going down Denwick Lane, and we'll shortly be turning into the estate we live in. We're just at the turn now, almost opposite the entrance to the Alnwick Garden. So that brings me home. The retirement has now started. I'm back home. My working life and career are finished, and that's a nice feeling. It's all come full circle, and I just now hope that both obviously Lorena and I managed to get some, or at least a period of time of good health. May that continue for many, many years. And if we're fortunate enough that that's the case, then I think we're going to have a really really excellent time. So thanks for listening, and all the very best to you.